got new trap shoes, sauce from the win and it's sauce from the lose. Sauce from the lose.
Save on new game content with Xbox Game Pass.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Playground Games. Today is the launch day for Horizon 4's second major expansion, LEGO Speed Champions. It's available as part of the Ultimate Edition, the Ultimate Add-ons Bundle, and the Expansions Bundle. So, who's joining me today? I'm joined by Arno. How are you doing, Arno?
Hey, feel awesome. I can't wait for the world to experience the expansion.
Yep, me too. And what do you do here at Playground?
I'm art director at Playground Games, so somehow I had the chance to see the pack before everyone else.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us. So, we're also joined by Matt. How are you, Matt?
Yeah, I'm doing really good, yeah.
Let's give a little overview of what you do here as well.
So I'm a game designer, and I mainly worked on the expansion, so on the campaign, so the gameplay that you'll be playing, and we'll be seeing some of that later.
Brilliant. And we're joined by Aaron. How are you?
I'm good, Ben. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. So what do you do at Playground?
So I'm a level designer here at Playground. So in this pack, I've been involved in creating a lot of the cool and awesome things that we're going to see today.
Cool. And speaking of what we're going to see today, why don't we have a look on the screen at what is upcoming? So we're going to start with the initial drive, and then as soon as we get to the festival, we're going to run through a kind of deep dive in the campaign. How does the pack work? What do you need to do? What's the kind of currency, and how do you progress through it? Then we've got a section we're calling Welcome to LEGO Valley. This is a very, very kind of quick look at the first sort of sets of race events and PR stunts, the kind of environment just around the festival there that you can see, before we'll do a kind of changeover and start talking about what we're saying is a handmade map. Every kind of single LEGO element in the map has been placed by hand, and we'll go into a lot of detail on that because it is fascinating. We've then got a section for Building the World. What does it take to combine the real world plus LEGO in LEGO Speed Champions? And then after that, we'll go straight into a deep dive on brick challenges, the kind of other major gameplay element of this expansion. We're then going to move into LEGO Speed Champions cars themselves. How did we build them? How do they look so good? And why are they perfect for racing around LEGO Valley? We're then going to have a look at the collectibles. We've got a whole bunch of new collectibles, more than we've ever included in any PDLC before, and we're going to start moving around LEGO Valley and exploring areas and exploring the valley. We'll have a look at the racetrack, the stunt park, the desert, the city. It's all fantastic. And speaking of looking fantastic, it also sounds fantastic as well. How do you get LEGO sounding so perfect, that kind of addictive, wonderful sound that it's got? It sounds brilliant when you're smashing through it, and we'll go into that. And then finally, we'll be answering questions at the end. So if you want to ask a question, type "Hey Tom" into the chat, and we'll group them all together and we'll go through them at the end of the show. So, thank you for joining in. Let's start. Who's going to drive at the very beginning?
Shall I drive?
Yeah, you go for it, Matt.
Let's go for it.
So here we are in the UK. We're about to start the pack. You're going to travel there in your kind of standard focus. Let's have a look at what we've got. And we can talk about the kind of what the pack is and how it works as we're traveling there. I never get bored of the opening drive as well. This is one of those things that we've gone through hundreds of times to try and make it perfect, and it's still amazing.
Yeah, so we picked out the place that you travel to LEGO Valley in, at these containers in the rail yard, because it kind of looks a little bit like LEGO sets, and you already get a sneak peek of the LEGO cars there.
And there they are. They look amazing. I love the detail on the loading screens as well. You can see like absolutely everything.
Yeah, so it's really important to ensure all the pieces are modeled exactly like in the real car. We try to capture all the little imperfections, how the material is different between the stickers and the plastic, show the thickness of the glass, how it diffracts the environment behind, and we're really happy with the result.
They look incredible. Before we start, something that I wanted to mention that I forgot to at the very beginning, the pack is going to start going live in about 2 hours from now, so keep an eye on it. So pretty much as soon as the show ends, it should start going live. This intro still puts a huge smile on my face every time I see it. Jay is like the perfect character for this expansion. He's like a kind of big kid in a world of big Lego.
Got the right amount of excitement.
Just like all of us.
You in?
And it's like a real kind of homage back to the start of Forza Horizon 4. But there we go. Crashes into the end.
Right, let's go.
So we start off here at the Falcon Speedway, which really signifies speed champions. So it seemed the most apt place to start the initial experience. We smashed through this giant flag,
How cool is that?
Right. Smashing entrance.
which went through about 23 iterations to get the right amount of.
And by iterations, you mean like 23 different flag shapes, positions, sizes.
Yeah.
And then we go. The UFO.
Yes, we have spaceships. Spaceships!
Why not?
We had
It's Lego Valley,
spaceships.
right?
Yep. One interesting thing in Lego Valley is because everything is made out of Lego, we could have much more diversity in the world. So we could like crash a desert in the middle of the map, just next to a forest. It doesn't have to make as much sense. We just took inspiration from all those really nice diorama put together by adult fans of Lego, where we try to like get the essence of all those different eco types back together
So in a
without
couple of
having a
minutes,
lot of transition.
We can go from a racetrack to a desert,
Exactly.
to an airport, to kind of British-looking countryside. And the idea, the like almost sort of story behind the pack is that Lego and Forza have come together to build this.
Exactly.
So it is kind of real. They've put it all together.
Yeah, this reminds of the Hot Wheels expansion we did 2 years ago, but with a different partner this time.
There's plenty of Lego humor as well.
Yeah, I
in
know.
this
That
pack.
still puts a smile on my face. So here we go. Car change into the Lego Mini.
Yep. And like this is the first time we've done a car swap in the middle of one of our IEs because we really wanted to give the experience of trying the different driving experiences that you're going to get throughout the pack. So as well as the Senna, you've got the Mini here, and these three minis for the eagle-eyed viewers will they'll know from the Italian Job film. So it's a little nod there, and we've just gone past a bunch of pirate ships and smashed through some sand castles.
That's a particularly nice detail that the three colours are from the film. But everything, so this is one of the restrictions, right? Every colour that you see that's made of Lego is like an official Lego colour. You can't get away from that.
Yeah, I'll come back to this a bit later
Yeah.
when Nick is back.
I love the clouds as well. They are incredible.
Really
Yeah,
adds to
it was a test from our lighting artists, and everyone loved it so much.
Yeah.
We kept them.
I'm just so talented, I'll just do Lego clouds as a test. Why not?
And now we're in Brickchester, which is a city in Lego here, which has got a lot of the more, I guess, adult buildings and stuff that you'll see from real sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of more complex, expensive sets.
Yeah.
And ghosts, why not?
And some of the devs have actually voiced the ghosts. That's a little
Yeah.
little Easter egg in there.
So one of the Ghost VO devs will be on later, but I don't know whether we'll ask him to give us a kind of rendition. But if it gets nighttime, we might go and visit them and see if they can, see if we can pick it out, see if he can spot which one he is. All right, there we go. We have arrived at the festival.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's made it
In one piece.
just about. I really love the roller coaster here. It's
Yeah,
always going all the time.
Yeah, so we had this opportunity where like the Lego creator experts range at those like awesome rides, like this Ferris wheel, the roller coaster set, the carousel are some of the biggest Lego sets you can buy, and they are all expertly crafted. They look so good. So we really had to inject them into the festival this time. And they're all animated, so if you look carefully, you can see like minifigs riding the roller coaster and everything.
So we've got to what was just kind of referred to as a base plate, Matt. I'm guessing this is like now the beginning of the campaign.
Yes, this is absolutely the kickoff point for the main gameplay that we're going to be doing throughout the Lego Speed Champions expansion.
All right.
So as Kira's explaining right now, our main goal is going to be to build our own Lego house and prove that we're a master builder. But it's it's got humble beginnings. It's just a green base plate right now.
But it's kind of nothing right now.
Yeah.
Like there is no house there.
Because we're going to need bricks.
Yeah.
That's how
Right.
we're going to be able to build a house. So
Any Lego house like the table
Yeah.
in front of us is made of bricks.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that's what we're going to go and collect. Okay.
Rather than like getting influence like we have in say Fortune Island or the main game, we're going to be collecting bricks instead. So rather than just like unlocking races and PR stunts as we go, in fact, they're all just going to be there right from the start. We're going to be able to discover every race, drift zone, trailblazer right from the get-go. So if you just want to jump into them, we can. But the main way that we're going to progress is by getting those bricks. But how are we going to get them? Well, I'll show you. So we're going to be able to get these bricks by doing brick challenges.
Okay.
So here we go. This is like the first few that we have unlocked at the start. You can see there's absolutely loads of them.
Hundreds of them.
272?
So this is the first like introduction to brick challenges
Yeah.
available right at the start.
Yeah, so these
And
are kind
which
of
one
the
do
few.
you have to do?
So you don't have to do any of them.
Okay.
We can just pick whatever ones we want. It's like completely free. They're all different color coded based on the kind of gameplay.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this one. This is get 2 stars at the speed trap. Sorry, the speed zone that's nearby.
Little Brickworth speed zone. So So how do we know where this is in the world?
So-
Like we've just got here.
I've just pressed A
Yeah.
on it. That pins it, and then we just go back to free roam, and the pin puts it on the left side of my screen right there, so
Yeah.
I can see 2 stars. Sets my route. Sets the blue line. So
Right.
I can
I
just
can
go
see this now. Yep.
just
straight
above the
over to
minimap.
it, no problem.
We also have season swap to autumn because it's now autumn in the UK in the Horizon world.
Yeah, so we've just rolled over into
Yeah.
autumn just before the pack has gone live. So this is what it's going to look like for everybody.
Exactly.
And like,
So
I mean,
in
autumn in Britain in Forza Horizon 4 is probably my favourite season. Oh, winter's close though, but this, it's red and it's yellow and it's
we could crank everything to 200% and really go over the top. So
Yeah.
all the vegetation will change in every season. All the Lego vegetation will change as well.
as well as the normal vegetation.
Exactly.
So we've got Lego seasons, regular seasons. This is
And
amazing.
so they all look really unique and very cool.
All right, so you finished the speed zone.
Yeah, absolutely. So I
Got
got
2
1 star
stars.
and 2 stars. That was 2 challenges done
Yeah.
for the price of 1. And so that would have got me a total of 20 bricks, as you can see. If I got 3 star, I would have got another 40, but I didn't quite manage that. We needed another 180 bricks to be able to build the start of our house. So we're going to have to do some more challenges. Does anyone
crack on.
want to do one?
I'll do one.
What are you looking at, Aaron? What are you thinking?
So how do
Yeah,
we
race.
get, based on how do we get more races and PR stunts? Because those are the
So-
red and the blue ones on.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, all the race and PR stunts are just available from the start.
Yeah.
You just drive around, you'll see the question mark icons pop up, you'll fully discover them. As you do that, those challenges are going to unlock, so we can just get through those. Some of the skills and smashable challenges, they unlock as you upgrade our house.
All right, let's get back into free roam then, and let's have a look at maybe for some race events nearby, Aaron.
Yep, certainly.
So let's pin a challenge for a race event. Or do you
Or
want
traffic
to do
cones.
the
Let's
traffic cones?
smash some
Let's do
cones.
Why not?
I like
some
smashing
cones.
some
Let's smash
stuff in
stuff.
Lego.
Smashing Lego is really satisfying.
I think this is one of my favourite parts of the pack, is that there's so many things that you can just absolutely career through.
So this one's got a bit of a twist. I can see it's like there's a timer there
Yeah,
that's not
absolutely.
ticking down yet.
Yeah, so once we start smashing them, that time is going to start going down. We need to smash all 20 cones within 45 seconds. And the question is, can Aaron do it?
That is a question.
I feel like you already knew where these cones were.
Somebody in design's been very, very thoughtful and placed them quite nearby in the
Yeah,
festival.
nice, good job.
Done it.
Loads of time to spare. So that's
Right.
another 10 bricks. So,
And there's
So
a
we
there's
see,
a
see
race.
what this question mark is.
Yeah.
yeah, so there it goes. Gets fully discovered. Hey, it's a dirt route. Let's do some, some
Perfect for the
racing.
mini.
Let's do
So
this.
Pretty much everything in the entire pack gets you bricks the first time you do it. So this race, completing the race, winning the race, that's all just going to give us bricks. So let's just go ahead and win this race.
No pressure. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's true of every race, every PR stunt,
Yeah, that's
and then there's things like the traffic cones elsewhere as
every
well.
single star in every PR stunt, every single race for completing and winning. And tons of ambient ones.
Yeah.
So we just saw some smashing from traffic cones. There's loads of those smashable ones. There's a bunch of skills-related ones.
Do you have to pin them to do them?
You don't have to pin the challenges. You can do, multiple challenges at once if you want. The pinning is there just for it to be like to assist you in doing them. We're going to see loads more of them when we do a deep dive into the brick challenges later. Let's just focus on getting these 200 bricks for our house for now.
what I've seen really like in this expansion, like you don't have to do any race or anything. If you just want to play around, drive in the world randomly, smash through stuff and have fun, you will over time unlock a lot of achieve a lot of brick challenge as well, and be able to upgrade your house. That's probably my favorite way of playing in this pack. Is not chasing any specific goal, just having fun really.
That's really different to anything, like from a campaign point of view, anything we've ever done before. Like every other Forza Horizon game, it's about the map opens, some events slam down on the map, you do a small portion or most of those, and then the map opens again and more events slam down. But you're saying that in this, everything's there from the start, you just have to drive to discover it, but you can even play in free roam.
Absolutely. You don't even need to open the map really. You can just go around and just pick some challenges out, just complete the challenge. Like just driving around, discovering roads, finding new areas. Like if you find a crashed UFO, for example, that we saw in the initial drive, and that gives you a challenge. So it's just, there's so much things you can do to build your house. You can really play it any way you want.
So what was the kind of like, what thoughts do you go through or process to like make a campaign like this where everything's open at the beginning?
So we really kind of looked at what we did in Sunrise and what we did in Fortune Island. And Sunrise really made a bunch of steps forward to try and letting you play in the way that you want.
Yeah.
Compared with Forza Horizon 3, Forza Horizon 4, you could complete just do PR stunts, just do races. You could even advance by just upgrading cars and sharing your
cars,
tunes.
taking pictures. Yeah.
So we kind of took a different twist on that this time, and went, what if you didn't unlock races and PR stunts just by doing those. We got rid of that kind of flow where they just kept appearing on your map. Instead of just saying, hey, let's just give them all right away, but then give them some challenges to do. We kind of explored this idea a little bit with things like Forzathon, weekly challenges, daily challenges. And those are like really small, like bite-sized things that we think are pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then we thought, what if we kind of did a whole expansion where the gameplay was like that? And I think it's turned out really, really cool.
Ace, I can't wait to see more of it today. So Aaron is, here we go, right at the finish line.
Nice. First place as well.
So how many brick challenges does he get complete for coming first?
So you get one for completing it and one for winning it.
All right,
he still gets his credits and influence as well, just like you would in the main game.
Oh, so it still progresses the normal threads, but
absolutely, you get leveled up, you get your wheel spins, all the stuff you'd expect. You're still going to get them.
Right, let's get back to free roam and see how close we are to building that kind of first part of the Master Builder's house. Once you've run your kind of obligatory wheel spin, because it's Horizon, right?
Sort of legendary on there.
Love a good wheel spin.
Oh,
So close.
GT cars.
GT cars, like GT cars.
I love GT cars.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Well, there's your T-shirt.
yeah.
All right.
Right, so let's take a look at some of the challenges that we can just knock
So what
out
do we
of
need?
the park.
Another 110. I can see some more races on there as well.
There's a bunch of discovery ones, like find the dinosaur graveyard.
Why don't we do another? Oh, hang on a sec. It looks like zooming out a bit, I can start seeing. So, so these are the other races that you said that we've discovered now, man.
Yeah,
they're kind of starting to populate.
What we're feeling.
Well, we must be able to play the campaign in a more traditional way as well, like through the map.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump onto the map.
Right, so I can see kind of,
So
here's
there's
like a
bunch
load
of
of question
icons,
marks.
a load of question mark icons. Those are things that you kind of got near but not fully discovered yet.
Okay.
Which is a bunch of those there. If you head up to towards the top left, we'll see something else interesting on the map. So if you're on the race icon just down a bit there, and we hover over that, you'll see that you can even see the brick challenges on the map as well. So like, we can see, hey, we've got two brick challenges to do there to complete and finish the race.
Should we set a route there then?
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Let's go do that.
It's a good one.
And you can see the races just done didn't have that icon there at all anymore because you've got both the challenges.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you like to play Horizon in a bit more of a kind of traditional, just go through the map and look at race events and PR stunts, you can do it. But if you want to play just purely going for brick challenges, and you can go through the brick challenge screen as well.
Yeah, it's like that's really what the Lego expansion is about.
Right.
It's all about just playing the game however you want to play it. Like, you just want to go on the map, you're like, hey, it looks like a cool race, and there's some brick challenges, you can do that. If you're just like brick orientated, like I need that house, then you can just look at the brick challenge screen, like pinning ones that you think you can do easily. Like, different people are just playing it in different ways, and you really can just play it completely differently.
I like the fact that you just coined like a new player tag, like a brick orientated player.
Yeah, exactly. We're creating new kinds of ways to play the game, brick obsessed players.
But so the whole thing though about being able to just drive around in free roam and do any PR stunt you come across and smash things and complete loads of challenges, we've always had people play Forza Horizon that kind of way, but the campaign's always been a little bit like, oh no, you're in the wrong part of the map.
Yeah.
You need to do this race specifically over here. So it's really nice to see that it's kind of much more freeform. I guess you can go wherever you want and the gameplay's there available.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that.
It just lets you go wherever you want.
Just that extra level of freedom, really.
Yeah. Which works really well with Lego because, to me at least, Lego is that whole thing of when you open a box and it's just full of Lego, the freedom is to build anything that you want. You don't have to kind of follow the instructions. You can do it in your way.
You can build a Lego Mini if you want to, but if you want to make something up, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably something to point out. We're obviously driving the Lego Mini, but most of the cars aren't actually Lego. It's because this is like Forza and Lego coming together.
Yeah.
You can use any of your cars that you already got in your garage in this expansion, and you can also bring these Lego cars back to the main game or even Fortune Island and play with them there. They're just, again, you can play however you like.
So the minis in the Rally Monsters bucket I can see because we've got a
Exactly.
6L4 just in front. There was a Mark II Escort.
There's an Opal, I think, before, yeah.
So Aaron, I know it's like difficult to drive and talk, but I'm going to ask you.
I'll do my best.
There's sort of the chevrons there that we can see on the corner and the race barriers. They're all made out of Lego as well.
So all the racification that you would have seen in the main game is now replicated this time round as Lego. So there's minifigures in the crowd, all of the chevrons, the barriers, for example, just to the right-hand side there. That's all Lego.
The main inspiration for those racification was some of the biggest Speed Champion Lego sets. So if you can buy like Speed Champion sets come in two forms. You have like either individual cars or you have the big sets where you have multiple cars and bit of environment, like the mini sets. And some of them had some really cool race pit barriers and chevrons and race gantries. So we've replicated them in a format that can fit the constraints of our racification.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the amount of times that I've seen something and gone, is that made out of Lego? It's like, surely that isn't made out of Lego. And you go up to it and you go, what? It's made out of Lego. Like, I did that with the stands that the crowds are in are all made out of Lego, and there's so much Lego in this pack.
And so I guess the like making it like you were saying about the bigger Speed Champion sets, Arno, is it's this whole idea that Lego Speed Champions have gone to the Horizon Festival and Horizon have said, help us build the races, and this is what they would make.
So Lego has such a huge range of sets for different audience, but we are a racing game, so we started from Speed Champions. Everything started from Speed Champions. The car, then the race environment, the racetrack in the north of the map, and then we expanded with a lot of other sets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
cool, right. Yeah. So we've got another 2 down. That'll be another collection of bricks.
Yeah, another
We must
set.
be getting pretty close to building that master builder's house. If not,
you can A-button through these to
it might be my goal. I'm itching to play.
You can get us those last couple of bricks. I think we're probably pretty close by now.
That's all I can be trusted with is a couple of bricks. Thank you. All right, let's see what we've got left.
Only 30.
Should be easy.
You're next to the airport.
You can see a bunch of the PR stunts we've discovered, and now up here in the bottom right, we've got some races, some discovery things.
Why don't we have a quick look at because I see we're right next to the airport, and as if by magic, I think I might know where the helipad is.
Yeah. So the discovery challenges are actually some of the most interesting ones, I think, because firstly, it's kind of all about exploring the world.
Yep.
Like, you're thinking, where is this helipad? and when you find it, you get that reward. But a little bit of a spoiler, but once you start unlocking more of these discovery ones, you start to get challenges that are task you from driving from one point you've already discovered to another place.
So once you've found like the start and the finish point.
Absolutely, yeah. And those are some really interesting ones.
Ah, so there was just a few of these, but now we've got this one here, which is to drive from the helipad to the player house.
Yeah, exactly. And like one thing we try to do with challenges is really appeal to like all kinds of players. And these kind of discovery ones are actually some of the ones that are kind of more geared towards the more, I guess, like more skilled players playing a lot more Forza. Like you saw, it's like drive a C-class car from this to this in under 2 minutes. It's like it's not a completely straightforward challenge, and some of them are pretty difficult, but give you a lot of bricks. And so if any of you think that this it's going to be like it's really not like a casual, really easy expansion. There's plenty of just challenges that are just nice and fun, but there's plenty to do if you're after a more challenging experience.
Speaking of challenging, I will attempt a dirt drift zone in a Mini with traction control on, because I can see. So I can see the icon, and there's these three challenges here. Let's see if I can get enough to upgrade.
Look at that.
Yeah, had to do a little side excursion there to see those cows though.
Yeah, the Lego animals are awesome. I love chasing them around. They work exactly the same way as the animals in Horizon 4.
Yeah.
But now they're Lego.
Yeah, and they move the same way as like Lego animals. There are a lot of animation we did by inspiring from how they would move if you were moving them
with
yourself on your own.
Yeah.
The ghosts are also another good example. They fly just like if you were moving them.
Congratulations. You're ready to begin the
All right.
Yay.
Well done.
Meet me here.
And then that's enough bricks. So let's.
Tell you what, Matt, if I give you the controller back, you can take us through the kind of. So we must have achieved one of the first major milestones in the new campaign.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is kind of each time you're always going to be set a goal basically of collecting a bunch of bricks to build something in this expansion. The first one is to kick off the start of your house. So we're just going to start building it now. Sometimes it's house upgrades. Sometimes it's some of the cars. So let's go place this down. So obviously we've got our nice little blank base plate. I mean, it's pretty nice, but I think it can look a little bit better with a few bricks.
That famous green Lego base plate.
Yeah, so this green base plate was really important for me, because for me, empty green base plate is the promise of creating something for you.
Yeah.
So it was we had to use a lot of base plate actually, because this place is huge. But it's really represent for me the experience of building your own house, your own thing.
And now we've got a bunch of new brick challenges unlocked and bonus cubes as
Absolutely.
well,
So
which we're going to
everyone's-
go into detail later. But
Every single time you upgrade your house, you get a bunch of rewards as well associated with it. So we get some new brick challenges, we unlock bonus cubes, which is one of the new kinds of collectibles in the game. We'll hear more about them later. And there's a whole bunch of different stuff that you get from doing this. So it kind of is a good incentive to keep going. You kind of want to see what the next reward is.
all right. Oh, and so our next objective is there, which is the F40.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we need 400 bricks.
Yeah, getting 400 bricks for that one.
So we still got a little bit of time. Why don't we carry on picking some brick challenges? I can see there's some more. The yellow one's been unlocked.
Yeah, you haven't done any of the skills ones really. So let's try out some of these. So let's try.
So 3 Ultimate Airs in the Lego Mini Cooper.
Yeah, which we already happen to be in. So that's great.
Perfect. All right. So where are you going to do this? Because
I recommend the desert.
all right, so
desert
Arno's
is a good
saying the
place.
desert.
That's a good shout.
Could go to the stunt park.
Aaron's saying the desert. Matt's saying the stunt park.
I'm gonna head over.
But he's driving to the desert.
I'm driving. To the desert. The consensus
You
was
can see
clear.
it. It's right there.
There's some funny stuff to discover in the desert as well.
Those little cool the elements that you've added into the kind of the fields and things for the rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
That when you're driving really quickly, it just looks like rocks. But if you stop, like here as well,
Yeah.
Each one of these is a...
Yeah, exactly, a wedge. So we got a lot of inspiration from what all the adult fans of Lego do, all those kind of really small, nice dioramas, and we just use all inspiration from what they've done and expanded that to a whole content.
Yeah.
This was probably one of the biggest challenge in this expansion, is to represent all those really small Lego diorama into such an expansive map. Because if you want for our world to be fun, it has to be huge. It has to be open and flowing and great to drive at high speeds. But most of the Lego sets are quite small and better to be seen from really closer up. So we had to find a lot of visual tricks to ensure we can have a whole world like that feels just like Lego.
Yeah, this is something we haven't actually touched on all, is these speed ramps that are
I was about to say, we have to
around the
talk
world.
about this, right?
Yeah. So these speed ramps are all over the world, and
Or drive around.
they're
to show what
they're
what
really
they're made of.
cool way to traverse the landscape and either jump over something cool or just kind of take a shortcut from one place to the other. So we spent a lot of time, actually me personally, I spent a lot of time going through the world, throwing loads of them down, figuring out, would it be cool to quickly jump into this sand dune or cut from one road, jump over a cliff sort of thing to just make it easier to get around.
Yeah.
So each
And
kind
they're
of
all
speed
fully
ramp's
functional.
got like a little storyline to it in a way.
Yeah.
Can I build this? If I had all of the pieces,
if you
could
have
I?
all the pieces, you can build this ramp. So again, all the Lego assets in this world have been built with Lego Digital Designer, which is the tool they use to build a Lego movie, for example. So with Lego Digital Designer, we had an unlimited amount of Lego elements, the whole library, all Lego elements that ever existed. And so our artists and designers have had a lot of fun building all these new assets. So the speed ramp is one example.
And the cool thing about the speed ramp is you just saw it when Matt was along the side of it, that there's like parts moving in it, and you can see it just kind of chugging away.
Yeah, there's a giant battery pack.
Yeah, really gives it
pouring the whole thing.
really gives it that life.
And you were using it to do the brick challenge that you pinned about getting ultimate air in the Mini.
Yeah. How
So-
about we head over to the racetrack? I think
We can
there'll
have a
be
quick
some
look.
challenges over there.
We are going to be very, very close to going away for a little bit, doing the trailer, and then coming back again, I think.
Okay.
So we might not have time to get to the racetrack, so maybe we just kind of carry on free roaming around the desert for a
Okay,
while.
yeah, okay.
There's some cool stuff to find in the
I think there's a
desert.
danger sign.
I really like the little
There is
little
some
kind of
hidden-
bushes and
Oh,
bonus
board.
board that you've gone past. And it's worth us mentioning that we've added bonus boards in since the very, very beginning. Forza Horizon 1, I think. But we've really gone to town with the kind of extra collectibles in this pack, which we're going to go into detail later.
Yeah, there's so many little
Nice.
hidden areas.
Nice.
Yeah,
like
the-
there's the-
The whole world is full of little jokes, little dioramas like this. So if you explore the desert, you might even find the perfect house for someone who decided to build his dream house in the desert. And
Yeah,
might
hopefully-
remind you of
Might
someone.
remind me of something.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll make sure that we visit that later.
Oh, and Matt we saw the alien ship crash land during the IE, and Matt's just found the
A
alien
landing
landing site
Yeah.
there, which is one of the many secrets in the desert.
Right. So let's have a look at brick challenges. We're on our way to getting the F40. What are we on?
So we're going to
We need 350 more blocks. I think it's going to be time for us to go to the trailer, and we'll carry on talking about different features. Thank you guys for taking us through the beginning of the pack.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Great to
watching.
be
We'll
here.
be back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to cut to the trailer now, and we will get back and carry on.
Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome.
The news, everyone's talking like it's good, 'cause everything's awesome. Feel more awesome than an awesome possum. My body in chocolate frosting. Stepped in mud, got new rap shoes. Awesome to win and it's awesome to lose. Awesome to lose. Awesome to lose.
Everything's cool when you're part of a team. Everything's a fun.
Blue skies, silver springs. We just named you awesome things. A Nobel Prize, a piece of string. You know what's awesome? Everything. Everything you see, think or say is awesome.
Save on new game content with Xbox Game Pass.
Welcome back, everybody. Me and Arno are still here, still enjoying LEGO Speed Champions, but we've been joined by Nick.
Hi.
Nick, how are you doing?
I'm good, you?
Yeah, I am doing really, really well. Pleased to have you here. So what do you do at Playground Games?
I'm one of the Environment Associate leads, and the team I lead is the Assets team. So
Okay.
obviously for this pack, we had a ton of fun. We had a lot of stuff to work with.
Assets everywhere.
Assets everywhere, yeah.
That's one of the most important things. Assets when you're making a world that's a combination of Lego and real stuff.
Yeah, and I was really lucky that a couple of guys on my team, Jake and Simon, they're like mega Lego enthusiasts, so I think this was probably one of their dreams to be able to make a Lego game. They were hyper excited to work on this stuff.
You're not the first person to say that. There's so many people around the studio who are like, this is brilliant.
It was a major
Everything is
passion
awesome.
project
Yeah.
for everyone.
One of the things that is, for me, an absolute highlight and might be my single most favorite thing of the whole pack is the map. And the map is a kind of purely almost art-led idea. So, Arno, why did we come up with a map like this? Like, what is the map and how did we get to this kind of position?
Yes, usually the world map has always been the same deal in every Horizon game. We start from satellite map, aerial view, try to make them look as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
In Fortune Island, we wanted to try something a bit different with the hand-drawn map that you can sketch along the game when you're discovering things. And this time we wanted to really push things further. So one of our UI artists, Rich Evan, who's a massive Lego fan, prototyped a small section of the map that was made entirely out of Lego brick in Lego Digital Designer, and everyone loved it so much that we decided we had to do it. It was
So when
it
you
was
make-
a bit worrying initially because we knew it would take months to get this done, but he really wanted to do it, and so say, let's do it.
So
it
when
took 6
you
months.
make this in the Lego Digital Designer,
Yeah.
how do you kind of say, build me a lighthouse and it builds that lighthouse?
So what he did, he looked at all the sets we had in the game look like and started by building micro-scale version of each of those assets. So he looked at our lighthouse and figured out what's the smallest lighthouse he can make, or what's our roller coaster in the festival look like, and figure out what is the smallest roller coaster he can make.
So these are all like kind of custom ideas.
Exactly.
That he's made.
These are all custom ideas. So of course he also found a lot of inspiration from like original Lego set, of course, but
Yep.
also from all the great creations the Lego community have done in many years. And and he built all those things brick by brick, literally brick by brick. There is no shortcut for that. So we started from the road network to figure out how big it has to be, and he built like with several levels of detail, starting from the large blocks and all the way to very small detail. And the whole map is seasonal as well, so it comes in 4 different flavors. In each season, the map changes completely to reflect the moods of the game.
I was about to say, so we saw the kind of, if I back out again, we can see those autumnal Lego trees just in the distance there.
Yeah.
And you can see that this whole map looks
Exactly,
like a kind of
they've
vision of
all
autumn.
changed.
So if each of these is like a hand-placed brick, how many bricks roughly did he put per map?
So we're a bit less than 200,000 per map. So of course, since there is 4 of those maps, in total it's a bit less than 2 Lego McLaren Senna, like the one you've seen on the E3 stage.
Yeah, that is a huge amount. One person made this as a kind of, for the entire project.
Yeah, for a solid 6 months.
And it's got all the structure underneath it as well, right? So
Yes,
if you wanted
exactly.
to build it in real life,
Exactly.
you could build it in real life. It would hold up.
How big would it be if we made this?
I think he said it was about 20 20 feet
Yeah.
end to end.
20 feet end to end.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
200,000 bricks. I don't think I could afford to build that in real life. Never mind.
So if
spare the
anyone of our community wants to try and build it on their living room, please do it. We'd love to see it.
Who's
Send
gonna
us pictures.
It must cost a fortune. Who's going to be able to afford this?
Someone must.
There'll be someone somewhere. That is a
Yeah.
nice challenge to put out. Right. So, the map, I'm a huge fan of. But the whole world, as you were saying right at the start, Arno, it's kind of this like, it's giving you this really nice opportunity of going through loads of different environments. Like there's a lighthouse, you've got kind of countryside and trees, a beach. What
Yeah,
looks
and,
like
and this
pirate
was
ships.
yeah. This is really an opportunity we had with Lego. Usually, because we always have to make a world that makes sense. So if you want to go from a desert to a lush forest, you need a lot of space. Just like you've seen in Horizon 3, for example, where we went from the rainforest to the outback, you need a lot of space. But because here is Lego, we had an excuse to make it more deliberate and like crash everything together. So when you drive through this map, you can experience like a whole wealth of different ecotypes and driving experience in very short time. I find it really fun to just drive through the world and jump from one experience to the other.
So, Nick, when you make all of the assets for the pack, where do you start? Like, there's just so much packed in here.
There's a lot. Well, obviously, like with Arno, we were working through what we wanted in the pack, what we wanted it to look like. We were looking through existing Lego sets. That was obviously one of the first things we wanted, right? Like, we wanted to bring that into the game, some stuff that already existed. But like you just saw in the desert where you were driving through, we also wanted these like big dinosaur kind of graveyard areas. So some of the things like that had to be custom built by the guys upstairs that actually went in Lego Digital Designer and tried to build new Lego assets with the rules, with the style, with the theme, for us to be able to put them in the game.
I think something that was really important for us is there is like one solid rule you can't break with Lego is once you've defined the size of the first brick, all the bricks in the whole world have to have exactly the same size, so they're all compatible with each other and they can all clutch and click. So we knew what was the size of the bricks because we knew how big the cars would be, which means all the assets in the world had to be the same size. So we had to deactivate all possibility of scaling the assets up and down. That means every time we wanted an asset variation, for example, we had to make a new one.
Yep.
We couldn't just like scale trees up and down, make buildings bigger, make the lighthouse huge so you can see it from a distance.
Which we're used to doing, right? We
Yeah,
can
exactly.
just slightly tweak it, but we couldn't tweak it at all. We had to rebuild it if we wanted something
Yes,
more.
it was one of the massive challenge we had
Yep.
to make this world work.
I think this pack it's probably got the most assets we've made in the smallest amount of time as well. It's got something like 350 new unique assets, which was a pretty fun challenge to undertake. So one of our outsourced partners, Glass Egg, helped massively. They did some awesome work. Two of the guys got to go out there and work with them on building all of these in 3D, which you can see they've done like a fantastic job on capturing all the small unique elements that you get when you look at a Lego brick.
And the thing that blows me away is, if I couldn't see this pack right now and someone said, there's a Forza Horizon expansion in this Lego, I kind of had a feeling of how it might look in my head, but when you get the light glinting off the bricks and they look like a kind of realization of the real Lego that I can see in front of me right now, it's absolutely mind-blowing how good they look.
So we treated this expansion the same way we've treated everything before. So we always start from real life. There's something interesting to look at here. So this is one of the props the Lego team sent us from Billund. So this is, here you can see these are all the different colors. All the different colors and material of Lego bricks you can find right now. So we started from scanning all the colors from here, so we have the exact accurate color of every brick. We scan the reflectance, so we scan the transmissive and translucent property. So from here we made another one, which is transparent. I don't know how much we can see it.
Yeah, I can see. I'm looking back to the TV where we can see the game's playing and the colours, and they do look identical.
Yeah. So from we actually recreated this asset in-game. So we had a version of this asset in-game that we could compare one-to-one and ensure everything is right. The deformation of the brick, the amount of light getting that transmits through the brick, how transparent they are, how thick the brick is. So for the first time, whenever we have transparent bricks, we even modeled all the thickness of the plastic, so you know exactly, so you can see exactly how thick it is. A good example is the windscreen of the car. You can see the thickness of the plastic. You
can see the way it changes the light.
How the light refracts through it. And so yeah, we try to put like as much, make it as accurate and precise as we always are.
So when it came to making the Lego in the world, you didn't kind of mess about and think?
No, we didn't do anything by eye. We didn't just look at it and like, does it look like the right color? Yes, no. We started from like physically accurate values all the time.
Yeah, you can see like some of the gaps in the bricks, for example, like the horizontal lines are always quite consistent when you clutch the brick, but the vertical lines have variation with them, which if you can see on like the building there, it like actually happens in real life as well. So we were looking at this stuff all the time.
That is like, absolutely uncanny the way that they look identical. So when you say clutch, you mean when you like connect two Lego bricks together
when they click together
and push them down as far as they'll go, you see that the gaps running along, sometimes they're kind of really, really thin, other times they're a little bit thicker, and that's exactly what you get in the real world.
Exactly.
And then we've also got things like the moulding marks from the moulds that they're cast in. When you make the bricks, they've got these little indents from the structures inside, which when you think of Lego, like our first thought was obviously like, you've got your shape and you've got your colour and that's what we're going to go with, and you start, like Arno saying, looking at reality, studying it, seeing what's going on, and there's all these fine little details that once you include them actually brings it to life.
Because it's not a completely smooth flat surface from the side when you catch it in certain light.
Yeah.
No.
So I can see the way the light is bouncing off the side of that building there. Yeah, that is so, I have never seen anything with this look as good as that before.
So for us it was really important we keep the build technique the same as well. So before we would use to have like a tiling texture going on the material on the side of a wall, but here we didn't use any tiling textures. All the bricks are exactly the same shape and size and color as the ones that are in the real sets.
Because they have to be,
exactly,
from what you're saying earlier.
Exactly, because they have to. If you, whenever you smash Lego assets, we have pretty much most of our Lego assets are smashable, which is the most destruction we've ever had in an Horizon game. And whenever you smash them, the bricks will detach exactly where they would detach in real life. Like you can even see that in the on the car right now. So one of the
part of the
rear bumper fell off, and it fell off exactly where it would if you were playing with the car yourself.
What else can we knock off the car? I'm interested now.
Oh, if you start to smash around, you can lose a lot of things. Did you lose the front lights yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the row of lights in the front already fall. If you barrel roll, you lose spare tires, the roof rack. There are like a lot of stuff that can fall off your car. It's really fun.
I think the trees are really cool as well, right? Because we started trying to implement the original Lego set trees and see how they'd work. But
exactly.
They're kind of built in a way that they work from an isometric view, like top down looking down, they look great. But when we put them in the game and you're like below looking up, we couldn't get the same visual. So we were working on for the general area outside of the desert, like the main foliage, how we could get some really cool, unique Lego looks out of that.
So all the really big kind of nice trees that we're seeing in autumn here, like the red, orange, brown, kind of yellow trees, they've all been designed by us in-house?
They've all been designed in-house with the drivability in mind, and again, all the different point of view. So they look good when you're next to them, but they still look nice and clear and consistent when they're seen in the distance.
Yeah, Jake, who does our trees on the main game, he wasn't going to get away from doing them in Lego either, so he made all the Lego trees.
They do look amazing. It's a big thing to say, but I think certainly for autumn with these trees, it's a nicer looking season than potentially just in Forza Horizon 4's kind of normal autumn. I love it. We have to talk about the flower fields.
Yeah,
how cool are they?
So I think this is probably one of, Chris mentioned it during a behind the scene, but I think this is one of our first prototype who really won the heart of our Lego partners. when we have a very early version of the McLaren Senna plowing through those flower fields, and I had a 10-second clip in one of my visual presentation, and they just couldn't stop looking at it. Just looking at this 10-second clip in a loop, and said, oh, this would be amazing.
Sounds amazing to drive through
Yeah.
this as well.
Yeah, it does.
Another
It
interesting
sounds
thing is one of the biggest challenge we had in this pack was to ensure the world can look and feel like a Lego world from a distance. So all those flower fields, if you when you're close to them, it looks like flower field, but from a distance you can realize they all shape, size, and proportion mimic like oversized Lego bricks. So if you're driving all the way to a mountain and look at the world from a distance, it will look like an assembly of Lego plates in
That's
the world.
really clever. Nick, do you want to pop back into cockpit view? Because you were talking, Arno, about the kind of thickness. So this has all been modeled. We'll go into like how the cars look kind of in more detail later, but just in terms of you were speaking about the thickness of the plastic in the different elements and the transparencies. This is great.
There's also something interesting that you may not notice it when you're driving so fast. But you can see some distortion as well for the first time, where the plastic is.
Yeah, just subtly there. I see where the plastic is kind of thick and
Yeah,
bent
exactly.
around the corner.
Because it's one of the things we noticed when we started looking really closely, like putting our camera inside, trying to fit the camera inside the car. There was this like slight distortion that made it really authentic. So we spent some time trying to get that as accurate as possible. So all Lego Speed Champion cars have some kind of distortion where so they really feel like what you would see if you were a minifig driving inside those cars.
All right, we are starting to get towards the end of kind of the time that we can talk about the world. We've probably got about 5 minutes to go. There's a question that's on my mind, Nick, and I think everybody's probably thinking it. Of all the assets, and you are Mr. Assets, as you've said, assets, which asset is your favourite?
What's my favourite?
And let's see if we can go there.
I think about the UFOs the most.
That is literally at the other side of the
Oh,
pack.
I know, right? I picked the other side.
Did you have another favorite asset that's much closer?
Actually, the brick walls, though, they are pretty fancy. Like,
These brick walls,
they
yeah,
were a
these are pretty
highlight
cool
in
as well,
Forza
yeah.
Horizon 4 for smashing through, so
Yeah.
brick walls made of Lego is like win times win.
Well, that was obviously a new thing we added in 4,
Yeah.
and that went down really well, smashing through them, felt great, so we obviously wanted to have it again this time.
Yeah, so those brick walls aren't genuine Lego sets, so we just designed them ourselves to look as close to the experience we had in Forza Horizon 4. Because everyone's favorite thing was just like blowing through walls, so we had to make something at least as satisfying as what we had.
It is super addictive. Why don't we head over to the UFOs and like call things out on the way?
Let's go there.
Yeah, I think the UFOs are like one of the first things I saw because with Lego Digital Designer, we could get the assets in quite quickly in like a base form, so that spat us out like really high poly geometry, but with no textures and things like that.
Yeah.
So we got a good idea of what we wanted the pack to look like. And the UFO is one of the first things I saw when it had been like textured up, all finely detailed, and I was just like, knew what the pack was going to look like from a full quality point of view. It looked awesome.
I think my favourite is just the little flowers. There's just something so, like you see it in so many different kind of Lego sets, and it's quite like a small innocent piece, but it crops up all over the place, and they are just so much fun. It's that or the walls. The walls are brilliant to smash.
They're pretty cool. Yeah. I think Reese had fun doing the ground cover stuff. It's very different from the stuff he'd usually do on Sunrise, so that was cool.
This is how I drive in this world.
Right, we are just about ready to move on. So, how about we get to the aliens, just so Nick can kind of tell us why they're his favourite.
Probably somewhere
get
this
there.
way.
And then we've got something really, really special to show everybody before we'll be coming back.
Can I change the radio?
If you want. Oh.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Yeah, radio awesome.
have arrived at your
I think what we did
destination.
with the cliffs is really cool as well. You know,
Oh yeah.
drawing on that visual.
Yeah, it's one of those things that are hard to notice when you're right in the middle of the map. But when you look at them from a distance, all the cliff shape, all the skyline are shaped like a Lego bricks. So when you look at the whole skyline from a distance, these are similar proportion as they would be if they were built out of Lego.
All right, here we are then. So of the UFOs, is it this little kind of, these tiny ones here?
Yeah, I think just like this area, I just love this. And I
It
love
is.
what like Rich did with the map. That was one of the first dioramas I saw of him.
Let's bring up the map and have a look at what we're talking about here.
Like
So
this
that-
little crash site
Oh,
here.
and it's gone through the sign as well. That is
Yeah.
amazing. I love the fact that each area's got like that theme park feeling to it. Like if you spin around the rest of the map, Arnie, you can see like we've got the kind of names and logos for
Yeah.
every area, and it does feel like it's a whole playground.
So yeah, this is where like Rich started from. When we started doing the map, he made like all those little dioramas, try to capture the look and feel of each area, and then expand it into full things. Look at this little plane.
Yeah, it was so amazing. We get like this giant asset back and you go over to his desk and he's made like
Yeah.
this miniature version of it that you just know what it is straight away. Like the pirate ships, it's like
Oh man, what a
super
commitment.
talented.
What an absolute legend Rich is. All day, every day, making all of the assets that you've made into this like beautiful, handcrafted, hand-built,
Yeah,
100 and how many thousands? You were saying 180?
188,000
It
per
is-
map.
It's mind-blowing. It's so good. It is the best kind of like 2D map to navigate we've ever done. I love it. Right.
I think the beauty of it is also everyone contributed to that. Whenever they came to look at the maps he was doing, and so like, oh, you can try using this kind of element or this kind of element. So it was everyone contributed to that.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Okay, so don't go anywhere. We're going to do a quick changeover. We're going to have a video up, Building Expansion, Part 4. It's an exclusive. It's not been shown before, so please stick around and we'll be back when you get back. Cheers. Nice one, guys. One of the really liberating things about building an expansion where the kind of premise is the Horizon Festival have got a huge amount of money and they're now working with Lego is that you can kind of take an area and make it in a way that it wouldn't ordinarily exist.
For our world to look like Lego, we had to build it like Lego, literally brick by brick. One of the most fundamental rules with Lego is that every Lego brick on screen needs to have the same scale, so they are all compatible with each other.
Once you have a stud in the world, everything else should adhere to that. Every stud should always be the same size, and every piece could theoretically clip onto that, and you never break that rule of scale.
One of the interesting challenges in bringing Lego to Forza, really getting the materials right. Playground's artists immediately had to go about figuring out how to capture the way light plays with bricks to make sure the color is just right, slight imperfections on the surface from having been played with.
We did a very detailed modeling of a brick with all the internal parts, injection marks, branding, all these kind of things to try to really replicate as much as those things in game.
When I think people see that, you know, like we paid attention to that detail, it might blow their minds a little bit.
It was challenging, and it's really worked.
We had access to the same tools they used in the Lego movie.
And it has all of the potential Lego bricks in there. So it's almost fun just to type in the box and just search and find all the funny hats and things. I think without that tool, this game would have been almost impossible to make.
Throughout the world, those are actually real sets that have been made in the past or are currently being made. Even some of the achievements are the set number.
We had a lot of inspiration from Lego City. There are brownstones, hotels, plazas, courtyards. We have patchwork fields of Lego flowers.
We are introducing those kind of Lego rule sets at a macro scale in everything in the environment. The shape of the mountain, the seashore, the rivers, the way forests grow in this pack, everything adhere to Lego rule sets.
It's one of those things visually, like you don't think we're gonna gravitate towards and like really invest in, because there's things like the city, the Pirate Cove. We have a dunes area where we have UFO crashes.
During the game, a UFO crashes and it spills some alien fuel cells around the map. They have an effect on the map. So the alien fuel cells themselves don't appear in sunlight. So whenever there is direct sunlight, they turn invisible, which means that when you're having to discover those, you have to do that at night. And also where they've scattered, the alien fuel has leaked into the soil and it's caused some mutated alien trees, and they're invisible as well unless it's raining. And it sort of catches you by surprise because you often don't know when it's going to rain in Horizon.
I think my favourite part of the expansion is the racetrack. I did not expect to see a racetrack in the Lego expansion. That's the last place that I thought we would do it. All of the racification is made from Lego. The barriers, the crowd. It's this perfect mixture of this feels real, but at the same time, like I'm playing the best toy that I never had.
So there was this place in the world where the only instruction we gave to level designer and artists were, imagine you have an unlimited amount of Lego bricks and you want to build the funniest place to drive your car in. And they came up with this crazy place full of ramps and half-pipe and multi-story building, all placed among giant piles of multicolored loose bricks.
The stunt park is kind of just, it's a place where there's lots of bricks, you know, but when you see how this thing came together, it's kind of magical.
One of the things players might not realize at first, or maybe they'll immediately realize it though, is that all the humans that populate the Horizon Festival that they're used to have suddenly been replaced with minifigures. The spectators, the crowds, everyone who's watching you in the race, they're all Lego minifigures, which is really fun.
That is one area where I think we did an amazing job of bringing the Lego essence into the experience.
What are those high-level rules for like how a minifigure needs to appear?
Well, I mean, they're all in here, which I can't share entirely with you, but nearly 300 pages of rules, which is kind of amazing when you think about, in some ways, how simple the design of the minifigure really is.
We didn't initially plan to build minifigure in this game. It was more a world for human driver to experience. One of our animators made a minifig as a joke and animated in a stop-motion way, just like they do in the Lego movie. And it was so cool. It makes the pack look and feel so immediately Lego that there was no turning back for us.
Everywhere you go, you see minifigures reminding you that you're grounded in Lego. How do they work? I don't know. Let's just say there's a little bit of magic involved.
You can look through the eyes of the minifigure inside the cockpit of the car, and you can see that he's not touching the wheel, and he's doing this, and the wheel's just turning on its own, because of course the minifigure, his arms are too far apart to touch the wheel, and that's how they've always been that way, and I think that has always been super cute.
I think that's really great, and I think that the people playing the game will get a kick out of that.
I think so. All the animations we've done for the Speed Champions game, I don't think we ever have a piece bend. I think we do stick true to
Fabulous.
motion. Yeah.
Well done. That's probably the safer way to do it.
A lot of our crowd animations as well are stop motion, and I think that adds a real charm to it.
It's so charming. I think it's our humor.
One of our huge challenges with the expansion was making sure that it incorporated seasons. Seasons were such a huge part of Forza Horizon 4 that we really didn't feel that we could have an expansion that didn't include them at this point.
When you go into the Lego forest, you'll notice that, the green Lego foliage turns brown. You're gonna see snow-capped dunes. So everything that you would expect to happen still happens.
A lot of the way that the world looks and this bringing together of different styles of Lego, I think that's what Lego's about. It's about bringing these different ideas together, and I think we've been really able to capture that feeling in the Speed Champions expansion.
Welcome back, guys, for the second half of the live stream for Forza Horizon 4's second major expansion, LEGO Speed Champions. We are having an absolute whale of a time, and I'm joined by 3 new guests. So, who's here? Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I am doing very well.
Yeah.
I can't believe the first hour's gone so quickly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's absolutely flown by. So what do you do at Playground, Ryan?
So I'm a senior game designer, and I have been working on the brick challenges in the new expansion.
Well, that is fortunate, because I think first up we're going to do a deep dive in brick challenges.
That's
but
the
before
plan.
we move on, who else is with us? Simon, how are you?
I'm really good. Are you right, Ben?
I am very, very well. And what do you do at Playground?
So I'm the principal vehicle artist and just responsible for pushing the vehicle graphics and fidelity.
So you'll be responsible for how good these cars look, and we'll go through that in a bit.
I am responsible, yeah.
Excellent. And finally, Dave, how are you doing, Dave?
I'm good, yeah. Good to be here.
Good. Pleased to have you here. And what do you do at Playground?
So I'm a game designer. I worked a lot on the collectibles in free roam, so we'll be talking about those later. So,
Perfect.
yeah,
There's a whole bunch of new collectibles in this pack, right?
It's really exciting.
Brilliant. So, we did say first off we were going to do brick challenges, but before we do that, I think what we'll do is we'll have a look at what's still upcoming in the second half of the show. We should have that on screen. Okay, so I did say we'll be doing a deep dive in brick challenges. We are then going to go to LEGO Speed Champions. We'll have a look at the art of them, how they've been built, the kind of challenges that Simon and his team went through, and just how they managed to get all that detail into them. We're then going to move into collectibles. So it's not just bonus boards. We've got a whole bunch of new collectibles. We've already seen bonus cubes, but Dave's going to give us a bit of a rundown on what they actually are and why they've been added. And there's a couple of kind of new ones with a really cool narrative to them. From there, we'll do a bit of a switch over and move into a section we're calling Exploring the Valley, which is heading to some really, really cool areas that we've just been hinting at. So the racetrack, we'll probably do a bunch of races there. We'll go to the stunt park, find some collectibles, do a whole load of jumps, danger signs, that kind of thing. And all the while that we've been playing, there's been lots of comments about not only how good does the Lego look, but how good everything sounds. So we'll get one of the audio designers, Rich, will be here, and he'll be telling us how we've made it sound like the way it does, what he kind of had to go through, and I think his children may have had a bit of a kind of, they may have played a part in that. And then at the very end, we'll go through some Q&A, and once again, use Hey Tom in the chat if you've got questions for him. We'll kind of gather all of that up, and they'll send it to me, and we'll try and get through everything at the end. So, Ryan.
Yo.
Should we get back to brick challenges and do the real kind of deep dive
challenges.
All right.
So, as Matt explained earlier, pretty much everything you do in the game is tied in with a brick challenge. You can see here we have the brick challenges screen, which is accessible through the map and the pause menu. It's basically a map of almost everything there is to do in Lego. I say almost because there are other things to do in Lego as well. But most of it's here. We've got PR stunts, we've got events, we've got skills, we've got smashables, collectibles, and then the purple, my favorite, the exploration section, which has you kind of careening all across the entire map, doing all sorts of crazy time stunts.
So these are the ones we were seeing earlier when I went to the helipad in the airport, and it unlocked like now drive back to your house in a certain car.
Right, and each one will like either indicate to you exactly what you need to do in order to complete it, or if it's locked, you can see there's a description saying like, here's how you unlock this challenge. Usually, in a lot of cases, that's either discovering the event, if there's an event on the map, or it could be upgrading your house. In the case of these discovery challenges, often it's like you need to complete one challenge in order to unlock another one.
Okay, let's have a look at some of the kind of like bigger discovery challenges you were saying and have a bit of a read of one of them. So
yeah, so here's a good one. We've got Minisaurus Attack. We're using I wonder who came up with it.
It wasn't me.
The S1 class Lego Mini, and we're going to drive from the dinosaur graveyard to the helipad, and you have to do it in under 30 seconds. So
that sounds pretty tight.
Do you feel like we should take this on? I don't know.
Well, we're in the Mini.
If I'm capable of this.
And we've already discovered it, so why not?
All right. So as I talk about brick challenges, does anyone feel like they're? I want to know. I've made sure that I can personally complete all of these challenges, so this has already been done.
You can guarantee completion status for everything.
I would not ask you to do anything I couldn't do myself.
It's going to be great.
Dave stepped up, he of game design fame.
Yeah.
He will never live it down if he does not complete this first time.
You only have 30 seconds. But
so tell me about, we've seen this a bit already, but the kind of, you selected it, you pinned it to your HUD by pressing A, went back into free roam, and I can see the name of the brick challenge, and like what are all the other things in there? It's the stuff that I've got to do for.
Yeah, so we basically tried to make this as convenient as possible for tracking what you're trying to do. So once you've pinned the challenge, you know that you need to be in a specific car. That's a checkbox, and you can see here that because we're in the Mini, it's already checked off. The next one is going to be the next step of the challenge is you need to be starting in a certain spot. We'll see that once he reaches the area that we've labeled for the dinosaur graveyard, that'll kick off.
So the timer will start when we get there?
The timer will start as you leave the graveyard. So right now, you see all the dinosaur bones, he's in the graveyard. The moment he leaves, that timer will start.
Just going to say, it's nighttime, so this is going to be a lot harder.
The excuses are coming already.
So you need to bring up the map, Dave, I guess, to find out where the helipad is.
Right.
Which we were at a second ago.
Yeah. Somewhere over here, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like you know this game.
Yeah. It's almost like I've done this before.
Right.
Okay. So
here we go.
Okay, so the timer, so we're still in the area.
And then the moment you head out of it, you see the timer's now started, so he's on the clock.
There is
It was like a little kind of audio cue as it ticked off.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see all the shortcuts now.
Oh, so you're gonna cheat your way into the airport.
Yep. Taking that. Oh, see, he's completing challenges that he hasn't even pinned. Because that's just how this game works. That's right.
Okay, there we go.
So,
this is quite tight.
Oh, he's got it. He's got it.
There we go.
So there you go.
Sweet. All right. Should we get back to the brick challenge screen?
That's a good number. That was like 100 bricks right there. So each category is assigned a color. So you can see like the blue challenges are all related to race events. We've also got our story-based challenges. I don't know if we talked about this yet, but we have a full Horizon story specifically for
we haven't
Lego
mentioned
brick
that yet.
challenges. So yeah, our very own Mike Brown put together an excellent multi-chapter story all about proving to all of the doubters and haters that Lego is real. It's real and it's here to stay.
And the idea there is that instead of just influence, like, say, the story that we had in Fortune Island, it's bricks, but it's the bricks that it gives you through the Brick Challenge screen. So
Right.
so every single brick I can own in the game is represented.
Yep, it's
here.
all going to be here. If you need more bricks, the first place that you should look is on the Brick Challenges screen, because that is basically a map of your progress through the campaign.
And that's actually quite a cool point, because so you can see how we've got this cursor that disappears and then it's kind of like you're not highlighting anything and it moves around. So how did we make the screen in terms of what was the kind of tech behind it?
Right. Well, this, I mean, I can't take any credit for this. This was all our excellent UI team. But they used like the existing Horizon map as kind of a base to work from.
Okay.
And then each tile here kind of represents one of the challenges. And so it was merely a matter of creating the space and then arranging the tiles in all the different locations that they're like. We had a number of iterations where this screen was a giant mess, a rainbow vomit monstrosity. But we've cleaned it up, and so it's pretty readable. But yeah, a lot of work from our UI artists and UI engineers, kind of like just perfecting the controls and making sure that you can like navigate the screen smoothly, select and unselect challenges as easily as possible, getting to the screen from multiple locations. Like there were a lot of early iterations where like you had to get through a number of different versions of the pause menu to get to this screen, and we had to like streamline that down so you could get to it really easily.
So how can I get to that screen?
So you can pause the game and then it'll like pop up right there. Yeah, on the left.
Okay.
You can also, from the map, if you hit I believe the options button, will get you straight into the brick challenges.
Straight in.
Yeah. And fun fact, if you do that while highlighting a race pin, well, I don't know if you actually have any. Do you have a filter on the map right now?
Might be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you were to do that, yeah, if you hit options right now, it goes straight to the challenges related to the pin you were looking at. So it's definitely like been whittled down to the most convenient version.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the UI, so you were saying the UI engineering team and the UI artists, they've done a fantastic job on that screen.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't sell yourself short. There's what? Hundreds, nearly 300 challenges?
Exactly, 272 challenges in this pack.
The fact that you know that number so easily, it makes me think when you said
it's
it's a simple case of rearranging them.
I may have been staring at spreadsheets for far too long. But
I imagine each one of those was hand-placed based on some kind of coordinate system in space.
Yeah. I mean, because they're all kind of handmade, we had to make decisions on like how many there would be of each category and where they would go, and to try to keep them like digestible, so you're not immediately overwhelmed by like a rainbow explosion. So yeah.
So here we go, another one of your favourite type, the kind of purple Discovery ones. Dave is looking for the football.
He's looking for the football arena. Here we go. And this place is just amazing.
I love the way the tiles are so reflective.
Did you hit any of the balls yet?
Okay, if I don't want to get the screen through the map or through the pause menu, how else do I pin a brick challenge on the
Oh, well, funny you should ask. We've actually made a few changes to Anna.
Okay.
So if, Dave, you're feeling brave and you want to pull up a random unlocked brick challenge.
Here we go.
Brick
Here we
challenge
go.
roulette.
Here we go. Oh,
brick
and
challenge
you've got a race, and it's a complete, not a win, so you should be safe.
Let's do that. You can do it.
So it senses who's playing and...
Right. It knows Dave and knows his skill level and said, hey, let's give him an easy one.
All right, so off to Brickchester Airport for the drag strip event.
Yeah.
So can I do brick challenges in any order that I want?
Mostly. So depending on how they lock and unlock, if there's a brick challenge on your screen that's unlocked, you can do it immediately. There are a number of them that do unlock over the course of the game as you level up your house. but all of the races and PR stunts, as has been said before, are discoverable on the map. So the brick challenges for them will unlock the moment you discover them in game, and you're just ready to do them right there.
Right. So Dave, fancy your chances? You going to win?
So I've just got to finish the race, right? I don't have
Yeah.
to win it.
You just
so
have to make it
we're
past the
doing
finish line.
a drag race.
Can I have a go?
We're doing a drag race in a mini.
I can hardly
I think
think
this
of
would be all right. I think I can
an
do
easier
this.
challenge you could have picked.
Yeah,
Like literally finish the race, which is a straight line
So if I just do this, right? No,
for a few hundred yards.
I was quite nervous as to what Anna would suggest me to do, but this is.
It's worth noting that this is one of the two.
Well, it's a good job it wasn't
drag
win the
events
race,
that we've
really,
added
because
to
I think
lineup.
that would have been impossible.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, let's go through this.
All right, when we get back to free run, why don't we use Anna again to see if she can assign another one?
You gotta
Go on.
hand off.
You go for it.
Roll the dice.
see what we
what you
get.
get.
So,
Yeah.
favorite challenge. What's it going to be?
So way before my time, but
no, you wanna
a
do
number of
this one?
viewers who have followed Horizon from the beginning
Yeah.
would be familiar with the 1,000 Club.
Easy.
Yeah,
And
way
that
back
is
in the original.
right, where basically a lot of the content was in these like bite-sized challenge-based packages. We kind of riffed off of that idea in this expansion to say, look, we're going to let you do all of the content, but we also want to help you track what you're doing. For instance, one of the things, like when someone plays a Horizon game, they might say, oh, I want to do all the races.
Yeah.
Well, even then, the Brick Challenge screen is a great way to map, like what races have you done, what races do you still have left to do, because they're all there on the screen, and like just watching them slowly go gold as you complete them all it's super satisfying.
Because if you, so actually, just to interrupt you, Simon, while you're driving to the race, if you pause and go to the Brick Challenge screen, through the Ferrari one there you go.
Yeah.
And then zoom out, hold down on the, there you go.
Yeah.
So you can see that we've kind of been working right at the start, some of the early PR stunts, I guess, and we've unlocked quite a few of the purple ones because that's what we've been concentrating on, but not as many race events yet.
So the race events, you can see there's a good chunk of them open, but as you explored the entire map, that would be when like the vast majority of the blue section in that top left corner would open up.
All right.
You can see the collectible challenges a little bit to your right.
Yep.
It's
the first one I can see.
the green
open.
one just there, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And we can.
And those are explicitly made to like count your progress towards collecting all of the bonus boards and then our other stuff.
How mysterious are the collectibles will come later. If you press the menu button, you can get straight back into gameplay, or just press B to back out through the menus.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Get to
So
the destination.
heading to Jurassic Graveyard Trail event.
It's another complete one. So
Trail is a good choice for the Mini, being that it's all kind of
It's
set
a
up for
rally
rally.
monster.
I really like having like a really nice kind of sandy desert back in the game. I've actually missed the sort of sand.
You got to be careful going through that desert though, because there are some high dunes, and like sometimes you're on a trailblazer and you think, oh, I can just cut across this real quick. It's not quick.
Yep.
You're going to be bouncing.
No shortcuts.
I just find that every morning when I come into the office, I spend like at least 10 minutes just jumping around the sand dunes because it's just so fun, especially in the Mini as well. It's like, it's just great.
I didn't check the difficulty yet. Fingers crossed.
I think
you
might
got this.
be okay.
got
faith
this.
in you.
Fine.
We'll see.
Here we
You've
go.
only got
Already
completed as well.
up to 6th place. No,
Just
7th.
come last.
Yeah, watch those corners.
Trying to be race fair here.
I still can't get over how nice, like the whole kind of the little kind of bushes that we've got
Yeah,
just off the side of the left and right of the route.
there's loads of that detail in this. The more you look at the map and the world, you're like, there's just so much
It's
detail.
everything, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
closely look at anything, you can just see how much has been studied and replicated.
Yeah. I think that just shows how much the team were behind this project. It was like a real passion project for everyone, and you can tell with the quality. It's great.
I think we all started this really being fans of Lego, and we've like at this point, it's just
Just so
absolutely
much effort into like
Yeah.
that perfect recreation of each piece.
definitely.
It's really paid off as well. Like, to me, I think the whole pack looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And honestly, a testament to Lego as well, because there's just so much to pluck from to create a world out of Lego pieces. It's
Yeah.
like,
I think it's just
It's
really
pretty
well balanced
crazy.
between how the Lego is on an existing environment as well.
Right, so how are we doing? You are... So you've also only got a complete, but I think you're going to go on for the win.
No pressure here.
No pressure.
you're leaving them in your
I'm
dust,
really focusing
in
now.
your plastic flowers.
That's great though, because if you win, you'll get the Brick Challenge for completing and winning the
I'll
event
take
as
that.
well.
That's
So
right.
you sort of
Yeah,
double dip.
2 and 1.
Yeah, that is nice. So you don't have to keep like grinding races
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Because it wouldn't be fair if I won the race, or Simon in this case,
Yeah.
wins the race, to then say, oh, you have to go back in to get the complete as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
you can only do one at a time.
The same thing applies to the PR stunt brick challenges. Like if you come up to a PR stunt, you 3-star it your first try, that's 3 brick challenges you just completed. They'll just come right after the other. There's no sense in making you do each one separately.
So even though there's a huge amount of content, you were saying
272. Yeah.
272 brick
Yeah.
challenges, and you have to complete each one to essentially be classed as getting all the achievements and finishing the pack.
That's right. So
Come on.
getting Master Builder
That's close. That's
is...
kind of fine.
It's slightly there.
You got it.
You got it.
It's just so natural just to drive for one of the other cars. You just feel it straight away.
Oh, it's tight though, but you've got it. You've won. So that's two
I'll
two
take
more brick
that.
challenges down.
Yeah, so next time you go through and you see the 2 splashes. We
I'll
must be
have to
quite close to building the F40 now.
So we
Look.
get there.
We've got to work.
You'd be a little closer if you won that drag race.
Classic shades, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah,
See how
we're not
we're
going to
doing.
show it off unless you win us that car.
Yeah, why don't we make that our goal to? I reckon I can win a race event. Or
Yeah. You wanna?
You wanna
do
go
you
for
wanna
it?
try
Pick
Anna?
yeah.
Go on then.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
95 bricks, so yeah, go on then.
Go on.
All right, let's try
Let's see
the.
if you can,
Let's see what Anna can
You
give
can
me.
do it.
Because I can't talk about it unless you can win it, right?
All right, here we go.
Oh, see, we keep
Oh, and it's
going.
literally right
Events.
there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You have arrived at your destination.
So while many of these that we're looking at now, like some of the easier ones, like we saw, like do some ultimate air skills, like
Yep.
knock over some cones, and I just want to let everybody know that like they're a little bit on the easier side, but as you get further into the pack, you're gonna see some white knuckle challenges that really test you. So I'm interested to see how well people do and how many people get to crown themselves speed champion. Because in order to reach speed champion, you have to get every single brick challenge unlocked.
So it's definitely not aimed at a more kind of casual audience in terms of like completing everything.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to have a broad appeal in the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, a kid could sit down and really enjoy just driving around a Lego car. But at the end of the day, this is a Forza game. And so we're going to, among other things, we're going to be testing your skill at driving a car in races and some really kind of intense PR stunt challenges, and in a lot of those like point-to-point races that really push you on the timer. So there will be challenges that require you to like know how to upgrade your car, for instance. This is not exclusively for people who like don't know how Horizon works. This is kind of for everybody.
So that's brick challenges that in a stock car would be absolutely impossible.
There are a couple, yeah. And we usually call them out by explicitly saying like, hey, you should upgrade your car for this. But
cool.
yeah.
Can I just take this opportunity? Just occasionally, when you catch the sun, you can see the translucency on the car. So when the sun's quite low, you can see the colour shift of the brick.
So the brick isn't just that one kind of
No,
red all the way through.
Yeah, it shifts colour depending on the direction of the sun.
So why does it do that?
Well,
Is that the kind of thickness of the brick?
yeah, it's simulating the fact that the brick has a transmissive quality, and when light shines through it and bounces around, some light gets stuck in it, and it gives like a glowing effect almost.
And that's the kind of thing that you would get with the same the same Speed Champions Mini if you sort of place it
it's
outside
like
in the same conditions.
that's
you
one
get
thing
this really nice.
One thing we found when you're looking at the cars in the office and then you take them outside and they look completely different. And when you hold them against towards the sun, that they really colour shift. And we made a big effort to capture that shift, which the intention is that it's got still that playful feel, and it looks like something you can reach out and grab. It looks believable.
Right. The same level of detail that you would have put like in a car.
Easily the same.
And you're putting it into making sure that this feels like Lego.
Yeah. We're trying to think of, it's not just a car in a video game, it's a car that should look like it's in a photograph, that level of quality. That's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, they do look amazing. Now I think as soon as we unlock that Ferrari, we'll get back to the Master Builder's house, Simon, and you can like walk us through how nice they look.
I think this is another one you've done before.
Has anyone managed to
maybe a little bit.
Do you play this Horizon game?
Very occasionally, from time to time.
Have we seen any of the destruction on this vehicle yet?
Apart from the missing rear bumper.
Yeah, we would.
He's already ripped that off.
I just part of my favorite thing for these Lego cars is that like they pop apart. Oh, you're gonna ruin your run trying to destroy your car.
Bits and bobs now. Yeah.
I was trying to.
So I think it's fair to say that when Lego designed these, they were designed to be robust. So when we were literally crashing these into the wall, with the real toys, it was actually impressive how well they stayed together. You expect them just to kind of come to pieces, but they're really well considered and designed. And we tried to replicate that with the cars, so only specific parts would fall off as akin to real life. So
yeah, they are really, really solid. Okay, so that should be another couple of brick challenges down. We'll be getting ever closer to the F40. Can't wait to see that one. Let's see how we're doing.
One of those extreme track toys.
35 bricks.
35 bricks away.
All right,
what are we going to pull off?
I tell you what, Ryan.
Yeah, you want me to?
do you want to have a go? I know you said you can complete them all.
I'm going to see how I do.
Go on then.
All right, we're going to do an Anna again.
Yeah, why not? Let's see what you get.
Roll the dice.
Can we up the difficulty, please, Ryan?
This guy.
3 stars.
Three
my
stars.
goodness. Trailblazer. Oh, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. Okay.
That may not happen in the
well, you know what?
in the Mini.
If I give it a shot, I should hopefully get 1 or 2 stars, which will then
get us ever closer.
Yeah, bring us closer still. So we'll at least give it the attempt. See how we do.
Yeah, so Trailblazers are a really cool PR stunt that we introduced in Fortune Island, but we're bringing them back for Speed Champions. They're like, so if you haven't played the main game, so you haven't played Fortune Island, sorry, they task you from going between one point to another, and you've got to sort of work out the best route as the crow flies. And it's like, this is the perfect expansion for that because you're driving through so many different types of terrain and so many different sort of Lego pieces to smash along the way. It's really, really fun.
So you just get your destination. No, you don't have to stay on the road like you do with the Speed Zone.
You can work out your route however you want. It's really good fun. So it's kind of like there's a puzzle element to that as well. So you have to work out what the best route is. I actually find that I'm really bad at these because there's so much Lego to smash on the way that I deliberately smash into it because it's just so fun.
Right.
So
you just need to do it, don't you?
Okay.
I'm
gonna get
yourself set up with a bit of a run up.
Yep.
All right.
And so I'm not sure if this is one of the ones. A lot of the Trailblazers in this pack actually start off with a speed ramp, which is.
Let's run right in front of it. If you get the right angle.
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, you don't want to be thrown off course. So where's it? There you go.
Instead, going to pull off to the road here. Let's see what we can get. There we go. And all right, but just for fun, I'm gonna pin my destination here. Where are we going? Oh, right here.
There you go.
Yeah. Gotta have that GPS. And thankfully, Trailblazers are ghosting, so I'm gonna give it.
Speed ramp.
Speed ramp. Here we go.
Lego Firefields, football pitch.
And the forest. Oh God, here we go. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Here we go. So those green flares must be the end.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I think they're pretty well.
Yeah,
It's been a good run.
Oh, that speed ramp helped.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like I got 2 stars. Maybe? Yeah, two stars.
All right.
So didn't quite get the 3-star. Disappointed Anna, but hopefully we.
So let's see on the
15 away.
15. That's like 1 PS done, right?
Yeah. What are we gonna try to do, guys?
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
All right. So what do we got?
What about?
Cool skill ones that require. No, those all require non-Lego
So
cards.
there's the bin.
Let's skip those.
10 rubbish bins.
10 rubbish bins in 60 seconds.
I reckon we can do that one.
Yeah.
Do you want to give that a shot?
Yeah. Let's go for it.
What's that one called?
That's rubbish driving. Oh.
Right.
I'm actually not confident, but we'll find out whether I can actually do it or not.
So what's your technique for this, Dave? Like, where there's not going to be a huge amount of rubbish bins out in the countryside, I guess.
He's done his research.
So I might know the world a lot better than some others. So I know that there's really well created Lego houses in the city, and obviously when you live in the city you need a rubbish bin. So if you look outside the front of all the houses, you can see a lot of rubbish bins, and there is a road that is just like it's full of them.
I see what you've done there. You've connected people with rubbish.
People with rubbish.
And then you've connected rubbish with bins.
And then I'm just going to smash through all of them.
Excellent.
Yeah, because why not? So these things here, you can see those green bins. That's what I'm after.
Okay.
So I'm going to get a run up and just sort of sweep.
But you've got to get 10 of them in
the
a
way
minute.
through.
Bearing in mind the timer will start the moment you get one.
As I hit
so
one.
you got to plan ahead.
Sounds like there's a lot on the street.
So does every smashable brick challenge have a timer associated with it as well?
Not all of them, but those that do will be very clear that it's a timed challenge, and the timer will always start when you break your first example of them. And Anna also has a feature for the timed challenges where if you say like you hit one and you don't want to wait for the timer to run out before you start, you can actually reset each challenge manually.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Here we go. Right.
So you
ready
made
to
it.
build the F40.
That's good. That was some proper rubbish driving.
That was some rubbish driving right there.
I think we should go back to the house, collect the F40, and Simon, you can get into Forza Vista and kind of talk us through.
Around the sure.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then we can jump back into the Mini in Forza Vista as well, and you can talk about the Mini.
I love these animals. That's so cool. Right, where we're going.
When it is safe to do so.
Just beeline for everything that's smashable. That's kind of how I play. Ooh.
Yeah, there's something super, super entertaining about smashing all of the Lego in the pack.
That's great. Right, I'll let you take the wheel, Simon.
You have arrived at your destination.
Right.
Okay.
Go.
Here we go. So this is actually one of my just genuinely favourite cars ever, the Ferrari F40. It was something that I used to draw a lot. I mean, I've been doodling cars for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And it would be the first thing, all right, sports car, supercar. I'd draw a silhouette of an F40. So the fact that we got to make this for Speed Champions and the fact that they made it themselves, it was just really chuffed. So on here you can see as the sunlight catches the brakes and the stickers, you've got like subtle undulation of the stickers. We tried to emulate how the car would look as if you just took it and scaled it up, but also we didn't want to retain particular details. So it was like what matters to stay on it. So for instance, if you left fingerprints on it, which you obviously get a lot on as you're building the car up, it looked like you'd have giant's hands on the car, and we didn't really want that. But
because these cars are like they're full size.
They are full scale. They pretty much match their counterparts.
Like I could get into that car right now.
And that's also why they handle like their counterparts, because there's a similar wheelbase and just general scale and so on. You can probably get a little bit of an idea of the light translucency on the top edge of the bricks there.
Yeah, I can just see like the internals of some of those elements.
Yeah, so these cars they were really difficult to build, and it was a teamwork between both like playground artists and turn 10 artists to get these built. A lot of expertise went into it, and we even to think about things such as how does the light bounce around in the transparent bricks. So sometimes light can get stuck inside a surface or a solid, and it reflects back on the inside. And like those little effects just help that realistic look. Then you've got things such as, I'm just trying to get a nice angle here, that's why I'm sticking on this part of the car, but you've got a sense of like the molding marks. So we actually got a lot of close-up footage of these cars, and we're just really impressed by how precise they were made and molded. And we just tried to retain those molding marks, any like micro details and scratches.
Was that something that kind of shocked you before you made these cars? Like, helped make these cars? The kind of precision.
Yeah, definitely. You just take it for granted. You don't realise how good it is.
Yeah.
You just think, it's a good toy. You know it's fun. Everyone loves it. But then you study it and you go, wow, this is impressive. The engineering is magnificent. Incredible. You can see on the side of the bricks there, you've got these very subtle, like micro scratches and so on.
It's
and
phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
It's not damaged. It's not worn or broken. It's just part of the manufacturing process.
Yeah.
And those little details are the things that help you create a realistic look of the model.
Like if a kid took a Speed Champions toy and like stared at it up close with a magnifying glass, it would kind of look like
on a little torch. You'd see all these little details. Yeah.
And you get them on the rear lights as well, I think, when you were spinning the camera around.
Yeah, I'll just go to that. And then on the rear lights, you might see.
Really nice.
We even went to. As we had lots of like macro shots, we could see the. Let's go to photo mode a second. We could see the like model numbers and batch numbers, and we started looking into them and what are they and so on. And I'll just zoom in here. And so you've got in effect the manufacturing process of. Yeah, we're a bit crazy on detail here. It tells you what the batch number is, and then what the model part is. Obviously, got the Lego brand there as well. Deliberately flipped because that's how they were manufactured. It's not a bug.
So that on the inside.
So that element has the model number.
Yeah.
And then the batch number as well.
I think the batch number. Yeah. So and that's from the car that we had in house that we were studying. So and then things such as we were provided with CAD data, and we studied the CAD data, and we studied the end product, and we realised both of the stickers and the model that there were the CAD data is like the input to before you get to the final product.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like what happens to that along the way of making it. And one thing we noticed was the stickers, they have these like printing like press artifacts on them that you wouldn't see in the CAD data. So we used the CAD data originally, but then we just created all the stickers again to show those marks as if it was manufactured as real, because we're trying to get the idea of this is it in the real world, not as in like a virtual world, so to speak.
This is amazing, the detail that you've got on the stickers there. It's like, I can't get over how real it looks. It's so good.
And if you look at the plastic windshield there, the transparent windshield, again, I'm just trying to catch the light on it. You got all this little grain and so on. And you've also got these bands, it looks almost like chrome, where the light's bouncing back off again. And that gives it a sense of thickness. I know some people have been asking about the livery editor as well. Am I?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely on point there.
Yeah, I'll try and back out there. So the livery was quite a challenge for us, allowing the players to do their own liveries, because there were certain guidelines that we had, and the guidelines all made sense. It wasn't to restrict us. It was just imagine. Oh, I have to a bit of talking first.
That's all right. So
imagine that someone was putting their own stickers on the car. What would they? To go back in now. What would they look like?
Yeah.
And so, for example, you wouldn't expect a sticker to bridge between two bricks. So we, in effect, created this masking area of where the new stickers would be, and also when you painted them, it wouldn't just be like the plastic material. It would be the sticker material that would be revealed. So it's just thinking about how all that goes together. I'm just going to have to get myself back into it.
So the technique for and it's probably worth mentioning, this is new. We've got like kind of Lego white space there.
The painting background.
I'm going to quickly just show a few painting things before I go on the livery editor. I just thought about that. So
no worries.
We still have advanced paint groups.
Yep.
So obviously, if you were building this car yourself or you're replacing parts at home, you might not want the car to be all one colour. So we could just change, for instance, just that area. And that way, you can see here we've got a lot of different brick colours.
This is all the valid Lego brick colors?
So these are all scanned. Again, that we scanned them in different lighting scenarios to both how they look without being lit and how they look when they're illuminated by a light passing through. And that was, again, how we got the realistic look. I'm not
This
going
is-
to. I'm not going to
this is-
save these colours because some combinations don't work as well as others. It's fair to say.
It's very
But
80s.
I'm
what
quite a
you've gone
fan of
for.
a white Ferrari F40. I don't know about you. I think it's something like 80s music video of some sort.
Yep.
Or
Yeah, who isn't?
yeah.
This is great.
So we've got that, and then I'm just going to set it back to normal and go into delivery editor. Actually, do that. So here we go. We'll see.
Yeah, well,
See a little bit about how we apply these. So I'm just going to apply a basic. I'm just going to apply a square, just to be honest, just to show you. So if I just move this around, you can see the areas that are enveloped by where stickers would be.
so
like each individual brick that's
Yeah.
connecting to it. Okay.
so people can kind of start making groups that look like they would be sticker sets
Exactly.
that have
That's
come.
cool.
Exactly. And
This is brilliant.
depending on the car, depends on how it's laid out, because obviously the cars are they're all built really well and well considered, but they have different styles. So the F40 is quite fragmented with the sticker placement, whereas the Senna and the Mini got like larger spaces to apply. But we really feel that the players can come up with some really ingenious ideas. I mean, delivery guys and girls already do amazing work, so we're looking forward to seeing what they can do.
Amazing. Right. I am conscious of time.
Yep.
We're starting to get kind of lost in the beauty and majesty of these cars, and it's no surprise. And I do want to make sure that Dave has a chance to talk about bonus cubes before we go.
I'm going to pass this over
So,
to Dave.
Right.
we've unlocked them. We're in the F40. Why don't you give us a bit of an overview of them? I'm happy to drive if you.
Yeah, you can drive for me.
Why not?
So really early on, when we had like a first prototype, we had a city that was made, and there was a few sort of Lego objects in there. And what was really obvious very quickly was that it was actually really fun to smash Lego. Like, it just felt really rewarding, and like you there. So we started to think about, well, how can we put some gameplay in that? And that's why you see a lot of Ryan Sprint challenges. It's asking you to smash Lego in a certain time limit or smash the total amount of Lego elements. But then we also started thinking, well, what if the Horizon Festival had almost like created their own sort of stamp in Lego? And so we came up with this idea called bonus cubes, which is what you're seeing right here. I think we've actually got one right here, haven't we? So this is what they look like.
Amazing.
Oh, look, got that. Hey. So
hang on. Let me get one.
look at this. This is pro, right?
Oh, yes.
So we've got this is what they look like in real life and in the game.
And this is thanks to Mike, who got all the parts
yes,
to build one.
Mike
Yeah.
Brown. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for doing this. Apparently this is a really rare piece as well, so they're quite hard to come by. But what happens when you smash these, you get a skills influence boost. And the really cool thing about these is there's loads of them. So
How
these
many are we talking?
we're talking between, I want to say, 290 to 300.
Oh, so
there's a lot of them. Yeah.
Way more than. So they're not collectibles as we kind of previously known them, like smash them once and they never come back kind of thing.
That's a really good point. So these ones, what's different about these is they actually respawn as well. So when you come back to the same world where you smashed them, they will respawn, which is great because there's some. We placed them in really fun areas as well. So there's in the airport there is a Skittles strip as well, so you can almost like go bowling with the Horizon cubes. So yeah, really good fun.
All right, let's have a head over to the airport through the city.
So if I'm doing something like really speed oriented and I see some of those cubes, I want to dodge them because usually smashables will slow you down, right?
Yeah, that's another great thing about this. So they don't slow you down at all. So when you're smashing through them, they're just there to be smashed and to have, to give you a lot of fun. So yeah, it's really fun placing these all across the valley.
All right. So while I'm heading to the airport to see the, you mentioned it was kind of like Temple Bowling,
Yes.
like Skittles. Any other collectibles? We've already seen some bonus boards in the
So
world.
yeah, we have bonus boards. We've got 25 of those in the game, but we've also got collectibles that will only appear during certain times of the day, and that's something we've never done before. So it's like a really cool feature that makes the world feel more alive and more vibrant.
So what times of day are we kind of talking about, and what are they?
So we've got some collectibles that will only appear at night time, and we are calling these alien energy cells, and they are these big sort of alien-like fuel tank things that will only appear at night time. There is a very, very loose narrative, and you have to hear me out on this, but during the initial drive, when the UFO crashes, we're saying that when it crashed, loads of these fuel cells sort of got spat across the valley, and so you, being a Horizon driver, need to go and clean up all the evidence because they don't want word to get out that there's been a UFO crash. So
Of course.
you've got to go and smash.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense in a world full of scaled up Lego, right? It's perfect. And then we've also got another one. So there's 25 of those energy cells, and then there's also 25 of what we're calling infected plants and trees. And these are collectibles that will only appear when it's raining or snowing. So again, the narrative continues that the energy cells have leaked their alien tech into the plant life. And that plant life has caused all these plants to grow only when it's raining.
I think I read about this on the internet.
Of course.
It's a bit of a weird conspiracy theory.
When alien energy cells start kind of cropping up in the world, it's the plant life that's going to be the first thing to show the effects.
Exactly. We've thought about this.
You don't take out the plants, then you got infected squirrels, and it just goes downhill from there. So.
And what I love about it as well is it brings a real call to action during those times. So there's been times in the office where I'm playing the game, and then one of my producer sort of came up and started talking to me, and it just turned to nighttime, and so I'm looking at him, but I know that there's some alien energy cells I need to go and get rid of. So I'm like, can you just stop? And I just sort of clean them all up, and because we're in a shared world as well, it means that everyone's going to get that sense of urgency, and there's a real call to action for everyone, not just me.
Awesome. So there's like 3 new collectible types, all about smashing Lego.
Yes.
Some that will never completely vanish. So you've got that kind of like constant Lego smashing idea.
Yeah.
Brilliant. They sound great. This is really, really, really cool.
Plus all the brick challenges to smash them as well.
That's right. Ignore Horizon cubes at your own risk, because we have one doozy of a challenge asking you to smash 500 of them.
Yeah.
So that's a big tip.
Yeah, no
As soon
timer.
as you see them, smash them right from the off.
Right.
So that by the time you get towards the end of the campaign, you're kind of
always worth grabbing if you see them.
That comes from a man who's done them all himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one takes a while.
Okay. Right, thanks guys. We are going to cut, I think, to some more gameplay, probably back to the trailer, and then don't go anywhere because we will be back for more.
Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome.
The news, everyone's talking like it's good 'cause everything's awesome. Feel more awesome than an awesome possum. With my body and trap the frosting. Stepped in mud, got new crap shoes. Awesome to win and it's awesome to lose. Awesome to lose.
Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome.
Blue skies, spring, we just named you awesome things. A Nobel Prize, a piece of string. You know what's awesome? Everything you see or say is awesome.
Save on new game content with Xbox Game Pass.
Welcome back, everybody. Right near the end of the official live stream for the launch of LEGO Speed Champions, the second major expansion for Forza Horizon 4. I'm joined here on the sofa by Aaron again and Nick, but we've got someone new. It's Rich. How are you doing, Rich?
Hello. Yeah, good, thanks. Really
Good. Great to see you. What are you going to talk about? What do you do at Playground?
So I'm an audio designer at Playground, heading up everything audio on DLC. So we've been just concentrating on making a huge amount of Lego sound awesome for the pack.
Proudly stood in the background on today's live stream, listening to everyone else who's been on here kind of going, this sounds great. And that's, I think, like for me, one of the key things is the whole thing sounds brilliant. And I mentioned earlier that your kids had something to do with the audio.
Right. They're probably watching. It's their first live stream. So hi guys, this is why I deprived you of your Lego for a week, because we took it into the studio and just recorded loads and loads of Lego smashing and creaking and stressing it. We actually experimented with other objects, because at first we thought we might need bigger plastic objects because the objects are so big in the world. Like one stud that's tiny now in game, that stud is this big. So we experimented with those. It didn't really sound how we wanted it, so we just decided the best thing to create Lego audio with was to use actual Lego. So we record them at really high sample rates, which enabled us to stretch them down and manipulate them so they sound large, because if you don't do that, you start to get artifacts and it doesn't sound right. So it seems to have worked out quite
I've
well.
literally got no idea what you're talking about when it comes to audio. You're a
Get a
bit
bit
of a
techie,
genius,
sorry.
but what I
Got a bit
do
techie,
have every
sorry.
idea about is how good it sounds. Especially these flowers. This is just ridiculous. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
I think it's his props to Ruri, really, because the other audio designer on the team, he spent ages just making sure that the Lego flowers are just right and tinkly, but still quite plasticky because they're quite big.
It's a nice word, tinkly.
Yeah, we had to have the tinkle because we got some of the small ones and dropped them around, and Lego does have a tinkle and the smaller bits.
It's that iconic kind of like putting your hands into like a bucket of Lego, and it's a sound that everybody like recognises as a kid when you're deciding what you want to build.
Everyone we spoke to said, when you swoosh loads of Lego around, if we could get that in the pack, then that would be really cool. And especially I think the brick piles in the stunt park, they've come out really well. So yeah, pleased with it. It's good.
Really makes the whole thing come to life, I feel.
Yeah. And you guys came up with some cool like different rule sets and categories for the sizes of Lego,
That's
the
right,
sounds
yeah.
that we had, right, which helped us when we were making the assets know how we were going to break them apart and then what audio would go with it as well.
Yeah. So we were past your asset list very early. We realised that these breakable objects were going to be a big part of the pack, and we could see that like what parts were used in those actual Lego models from that. So we then got categories of like bars, blocks, bricks.
Oh,
bits.
smart. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, panels, and the bonus cubes are like bits.
They've also got like, is that the
There's a special element in there, yeah. All three of the bonus collectibles that Dave spoke about, they've got special elements in them that the others don't, obviously.
This is an interesting thing. So I noticed earlier, there's like a kind of sound that comes from the speed ramps.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there was one
Go back
just
to
off
it,
the
yeah.
corner, Nick, that you
So,
drove past. So how do you decide like this kind of this speed
there,
ramp? How do you decide how that
yeah,
sounds?
Just behind those trees.
Yeah, so the speed ramps.
That's it. Just on the right there.
If you drive next to them, you can see that they've got little rollers and it's all animating. So we actually bought a Lego Technic motor because we want to keep it authentic, and we recorded that and mixed it with with loads of layers of the Lego Technic.
So the kind of Lego motor that you would use if you built something like that in real life is
Right.
basically what you've recorded, and that's why it sounds so good.
Yep. And we kind of made it so when you're driving past, you can hear it's like, oh, what's that? And it gives you like a little signal because some of them are quite hidden into trees, and it's like quite a nice little pointer for the player to go and find that speed ramp that you wouldn't have necessarily seen. So yeah, it works quite well.
Ace. Right, speaking of audio, here is a place that sounds utterly incredible under race day conditions, and we did promise earlier in the pack that we would get to the racetrack and we would take part in at least one race. As Nick is driving, I will let him pick anything, but not the drag strip. Why don't you pick any of the races you want to take part in?
Aaron, you pick. There you go.
Oh, and Aaron,
you did most of it.
Talk us through. So
No
we've
worries.
never really had an actual track before in Forza Horizon as such.
Yeah, that's right. This is the first time we've had a racetrack in Forza Horizon, and I was lucky enough to be the person to actually get to make it. So I spent way too much time on it and went about 5 times over the budget for the amount of roads that were allowed.
Totally worth it though.
But yeah, it has so many different like cut-throughs and extra little bits that are going to work really well with Route Creator. So there's a couple of routes in there already, and we're about to show you one. But on top of that, with Route Creator, you can just make countless variations on that. And because it's right in the north of the map, and that's usually like when we're scoping things that are going to get cut the soonest, I try to put as many cool things in there as possible. So there's a drag strip there, and then on top of it, there's a banked oval. So there's two banked oval corners, so you can just do those high speed runs.
And that's you just with the intention of this is right at the corner of the world, and if we cut it off because we couldn't afford to build everything.
Yeah, it's like I want this to be in there, so I need to make it as cool and fun as possible.
But here we are, finished and
Yeah,
out there.
it got in, thankfully.
I only actually played the proper racetrack races the other day for the first time, and I was just blown away with just how good they are. I think when you look at the map as well, the racetrack looks quite small. And as soon as you do the races, it's just like another game inside.
Yeah,
track
it's like
itself.
because it's so sort of dense, like the road network in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You don't expect it at all. I first thought it was just an oval around the outside.
Yeah.
I didn't realise you had all this like technical kind of circuitry in the middle.
Well,
of it. It's brilliant.
In development, it was for
Yeah.
ages. You probably remember it was an oval while you guys were doing your magic. It was an oval, so we got a feel for the oval quite early on. But then all the stuff inside that really makes it.
Cool thing, speaking of saying that it's now made it in, that's as in it's going to be in the game going live, and the expansion should start unlocking, not kind of, instantly for everybody everywhere, but it should start unlocking from about 5 minutes time.
Excellent.
All right, while we're enjoying this circuit, let's start taking some questions because we are rapidly running out of time. The hours have completely flown by. We've barely scratched the surface. We've barely done any brick challenges. We've barely got very far through the campaign. It's an absolutely massive expansion pack. There's so much gameplay content. So, first up, is there going to be a Lego Horizon story? There is. We touched on it slightly earlier. There is a story. It explains the kind of conceit. It's got a really nice storyline. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's an idea of the fact that if this happened in the real world, it would be so unbelievable that someone's going to spend all the money to build full kind of speed champions that you can drive yourself. Will there be hourly Forza-thons while in the expansion? There will. Absolutely. There's Forza-thons everywhere. Lots of them taking part in the Trailblazers, the PR stunts, all over the place. Can you change the colour of the Lego cars? So Simon showed us earlier, if you didn't see that, yeah, you can change the colour of the Lego cars, authentic Lego colours, as well as using the livery editor. And the livery editor works in a really smart way in that it's using a clever mask, so it looks like your own stickers that you've placed on the side of the car. I think that's going to give our kind of creative designers something that they've never had before, which is this idea of making decals like sticker groups and then actually having a car which is designed to have stickers put on it. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing what people do.
Some cool stuff.
Really, really looking forward to it.
Good work.
This is one for you, Nick. You won while I wasn't even paying attention.
Sorry, man.
Of course, you made the racetrack. Of course you won. Of course you won. Nick, is Brickchester based on any real UK town city, i.e. Winchester, Chichester? I guess we can throw in some others, Manchester. Any
right.
Chester, just Chester?
Well, actually, we thought when the level designers built Brickchester that it was designed on the underside of a square piece of Lego. So
Right.
a single 2x2, right? Underside of a square brick. But apparently that was just completely by accident that it looks like that.
I actually noticed it the other day, the first time as well, and thought.
The road
the
network
underside.
looks like the underside
Totally
of
does,
something,
yeah.
which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to ask Sam. He was the one that put that together, but I think it's just a
Yeah, he just said happy coincidence,
Lego-related coincidence.
Right, why don't we move into somewhere else? We spoke earlier about the stunt park. I feel like we've barely even touched on that. And the two
see a
people
little
we
bit of it
need are
earlier?
here. So why don't we race back down to the stunt park?
Certainly.
Yeah, the stunt park's a pretty unique thing. I remember when it got put in front of us and it was all of Aaron's designs and we were looking at it like, we know this has to be completely Lego, but we have no idea what we're going to do with it now. It was really fun to drive around, really fun to play. The ramps were awesome.
So when you say we and Aaron and everything, just for kind of for people who don't know, in terms of Aaron's a level designer, you work in environment art.
Yep.
So what does Aaron make that then goes to you and your team?
So he would have made a thing called a white box, which
Right.
is a low complexity version of the asset. It's
Okay.
got the layout, the flow, all the angles, the collision, everything that he wants to be able to drive it
Like a
properly.
sketch, but in...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have to work with that and build our assets around it, making sure that we maintain everything he's put in so we don't, screw the driving experience.
And this time around, quite a bit of that was actually I put together in Lego Digital Designer, so it kind of hopefully helped. the guys when it came to it.
It did.
And then some of it was just your bog standard white box, which was like just shapes. And the guys did an incredible job making it look like this with all the colors. The kind of main concept behind it was the reference that was really drawn on was like a skate park, sort of almost like that, or a snow park. So like ramps and jumps, and get all the Lego Smashables in there that we could.
Yeah, there's a real kind of mix of like things. I think I saw. Is there a pirate ship?
That's
saw that out of the corner of my eye.
So that
minifigures on statues.
Yeah. So that the pirate ship ended up being in there because there was some on the beach, and one day I just kind of wanted something big
Yeah, why
to
not?
stick in and donut round. And
But you make the sketch, and Nick and guys have to go and like.
Yeah, for some of the custom stuff. So Mike Rich is on the concept team. He designed the ramps and the structure at the back in Lego Digital Designer. And as soon as he passed that off, we were like, okay, now, like, we know what this thing's going to be now. We know it's going to look awesome.
It's brilliant. It looks like loads of fun. And there was a question earlier about Forza Live, and I'm sure there's at least one, if not a couple of them, that kind of have rounds that take place in here. I think that's probably your intention, Aaron, is that this isn't just for like one person on their own in a single car driving around.
No.
But it's built for like multiple people. There'll be a lot of opportunity for capturing really cool clips.
Exactly.
It's rolled past 6. I am getting information that the expansion is live, that people are starting to get it. So people are joining us.
Oh, go get it.
Really looking forward to the feedback that we get. I hope everybody loves it. I absolutely love this pack. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. And I think we are going to have to stop here. It's been an absolute brilliant stream. It's like there's just so much content. We've barely scratched the surface of it. So everybody who's got access to this, go and download it. Go and play. It's live now. It'll start kind of heading around. You should start getting access to it. We are going to leave you now. Thank you for joining us. It's been our pleasure. And we will see you soon. Bye.
Save on new game content with Xbox Game Pass.